Hello again folks, GK here. Welcome to episode 6 of my Let's Play series. Sneaky Enderman, I see you out there. Oh, someone was asleep. So, last session, as you can see over in the back here, we were building a power grid. And that's all set up now, and I've filled it in. Looking nice with all of these steam dynamos. And it seems to be working quite well. I did put an oxygen capacitor in here. These are all working. Augment wise, I've put in an excitation field limiter, which means it doesn't spend power when it doesn't need to, or rather it doesn't generate power when it doesn't need to, and a secondary gearbox for a little bit more fuel efficiency, make that charcoal of ours last longer. I have upgraded our hardened energy cell, and although you can't see it, some of these sprucewood planks are covers. So this is going to be our first bank of machines, which is what we're going to get to today. We're going to start with thermal expansion. You can get the basic 5 machines from thermal expansion. So to do this, we are going to need, at thermal, we're going to need the redstone furnace and the pulverizer, and that will be our basic ore processing setup. We're going to need the induction smelter for some of the more advanced alloys. And we're also going to need a magma crucible and a fluid transposer. So those 5 machines will be the ones we're going to start with. So every one of them needs tin, iron, glass thing to start with, because we need to build gears. So let's build a few of those. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. This needs to go into the corners. There we go. And these are our machine frames. Basic. We can get the hardened ones because we've got a little bit of invar, but we don't need them just yet because they just give you upgrade slots. It doesn't actually make them faster without the upgrades. So, what do we need for each of these? So for the furnace, we're going to need 2 copper gears, a reception core. Everything needs one of these reception cores, and a bit of redstone, and a couple of bricks, which I prepared earlier. So let's get 11 redstone, and we're going to need 5 gold. So we'll cook that into coils. So it's our machine frame, 2 bricks, our redstone core, and we're going to need a piece of redstone and the 2 copper gears. So, like a tool, I forgot to make the copper gears. There's my copper. I've got some iron on me. And I think all of these require copper gears. So that needs copper, that needs invar, that needs invar, and that needs copper. So we need 6 copper gears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And while we're here, we're going to need 4 invar gears. Where's my invar? There it is. There we go. Just enough. Where'd my iron go? Where'd my iron go? I don't. There we go. There's our gears. So, copper. We're going to need 3 of them. We are going to need 2 of those, 1 of those, a piece of redstone. Redstone furnace, that's our first one. Second one is the pulverizer. We're going to need a piston and 2 flint for this. So the flint is easy, it should be in this box. And the piston itself, we're going to need a piece of redstone, another piece of iron, we're going to need 4 of these, and we're going to need some wood. So let's build this. In fact, let's turn this into another crafting work table. Oh, fail. There's a skeleton outside my door. There, so that it can hold things. So, piston. Simple enough. Bit of iron, bit of wood. Okay, piston goes there, I think. So it is a pulverizer. Yeah, we got everything. So piston at the top, flint on the sides, pulverizer. Now, these are the two basic machines that everyone gets into in thermal expansion because they just work so well together. So the first thing we're going to need is, there we go, so our pulverizer and then our furnace. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the redstone to disabled, configuration. We're going to accept from the top, which is blue, and we're going to output to the right, and that's going to be our orange. We can output just to the right and then have something out the back, which is our yellow perhaps, but that's our secondary modifier. So occasionally when you pulverize gold you'll get copper, and vice versa. When you pulverize iron you'll get nickel, and when you pulverize nickel, which is ferrous ore, you'll get shiny dust, but it's quite a low chance. This is just a secondary. But anyway, this needs to output to the right, and of course this needs to accept from the left from the pulverizer, and we're going to say output to the top, at which point we'll put a chest on here. Might as well get that done now. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that, folks. Got a call from the family. Where were we? We were making a chest. Nip over here. Wrong one. Chest. And we'll grab this hopper here because it's of no use to us at the moment. There. And there. Awesome. And these have got power. And what this means is that we no longer have to use our quartz grindstone. So I can just grab, say, a stack of iron, stick it in the hopper, and it will filter down into the pulverizer, who will pulverize it into nothing, because it's gone straight into the furnace, which is then cooking it into steel, iron, steel, iron, yeah. The same stuff, just a higher temperature. Good start. Good start. So, the next thing we need to do, the next thing we need to make from thermal expansion is the induction smelter. And this requires a bit of invar, some invar gears, redstone reception core, and a bucket. Well, the bucket's pretty easy. Invar, we've got some, had some. I already made them. I'm smart. Except I need 2 more. Do I have any more? There's not appear to be any invar in here. No! Okay. So, it looks like we do have to use our grindstone for a moment. So I'm going to need one of those and one of these. Stick this through the grindstone in order to get some invar blend, which is made with 2 iron dust and 1 ferrous dust. There we go. Combine 2 of them, 1 of them. Invar. We stick it in our magic furnace, which requires no fuel. I believe we only need the 2. And we're going to need a bucket. Now, what this machine allows us to do is to make things like invar and signalum and other similar materials without having to go through the pulverization process. So I no longer need to break everything down, combine them, and then melt them back up. I can simply put this down, stick the ingredients in, and watch it work. And let's do that now for a bit more invar. So we'll grab some ferrous dust. Got a few of them. I'm not sure if I can make it with iron ingots and ferrous dust. Let's try. So 1, 2, 1. Does not like. Oh well, worth a shot. Okay, but these last 2 slots, which you can see have some sort of RF value in Whaler, these are going to be our magma crucible and our liquid transposer. So we're going to need these. Got some glass. So the magma crucible requires 2 nether bricks, invar gears again, a machine frame. We can get most of this, so let's stick that in. There's our machine frame. But at the top here, we're actually going to need something that we've already built, but didn't think we'd really need again. It's a leadstone energy cell frame. So for that, we're going to need 2 of them, 9 of those, get another couple, and we're going to need some glass, which we've got. So what I'm going to do is stick that in there, pull this out for a moment. Yay. Now this won't process while we have something in the secondary tab, but it should do the moment I pull that out. Ding. So we've got our lead. We need 4 lead for this. There we go. And that should continue processing the iron. Jolly good, jolly good. So we're going to need a block of that. I think we need 4 lead in the corners, 4 glass. Leadstone energy cell frame. There's our magma crucible. And last but not least, the fluid transposer, which is another bucket and all of our other gears. So let's just quickly make the bucket. And then we can shift click this in. Ding! Solved. I'm going to put all my stuff back in the chest because I don't need it for the moment. You can go in there. Redstone. There we go. Magma crucible, basic. It melts stuff down. Fluid transposer, basic. It combines the melty stuff. So we'll have an input from the top here, and we'll tell it to put the liquid out to the right, and this will take in the liquid from the right, that one, and probably output to the top. Progress. And this is what we use for things like faster conduits, improved power generation and stuff. For example, we infuse redstone into an energy flux duct to get a redstone energy flux duct. Yay. And this is 10 times better than the cables we're using. In fact, I think it's literally 10 times better. These only carry 800. Awesome. And this should be producing charcoal. These should be producing steam and RF. This should maintain its full. Yeah. Awesome. We've got processing. And it's jolly good because I can just simply grab all of my ores. Don't think. Can I do it with aluminium? I'm not sure. Just plonk all of these in the hopper. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, I think one of them will just fill it up. So if we take that last one out, fill you in there. Put those in. And that will just tick away and start grinding down our ores. We will set this right hand side to be a full output so that the pulverized ferrous metal can also go into the redstone furnace, and that will finish once the iron is done because that's got priority. So that's been very brief and very quick. Yay for preparation. So I'm going to do a bit more preparing on something different, and we will be right back. Alrighty folks, we're back, and the decision has been made on what to do next. So you may notice something about my armor in that it's getting pretty beat up. 28, 45, 44. My helmet's gone completely. A couple of tussles with some zombies, a few creeper explosions, and hey, it's gone. So how are we going to resolve this? Well, in my box over here, I actually have some slightly better armor. Mana steel. But I just don't want basic mana steel. I'm going to be using this as a crafting component for something slightly bigger and better. Specifically, we want Terra steel armor. And I have the mana for that. Now, if I come out here, we'll be getting that pretty soon. My big issue at the moment is getting the diamonds and whatnot for it, because I just used the last of my diamonds. And why am I using the last of my diamonds? Because I think it's time to give a little prank to Steve. Because, well, he pranked me a while ago. He decided to put one of those nice little noisy door traps under my house where I couldn't find it, and I had to make these wonderful sonic glasses in order to actually find them, which can't see a damn thing, but they allow you to track sounds. Very convenient. Let's get rid of those. Now, one thing that I threatened him with was flying cows, and he's on the server at the moment, so we'll have to wait for him to actually disappear before we can execute the prank. But in order to even start on it, we're going to need something from the Elven dimension, from the Alfheim portal, which I've started building over there. So I think I've got most of the ingredients in my inventory in order to make it work. I just need 3 pieces of glowstone, and we'll see if we can get this up and running. We are going to need these, and I think we're going to need an Eye of Ender, so I'm going to need 1 of you, 2 of you, because we'll need these for the mana pylons. A little bit of gold. So first things first, let's make our mana pylons. So it's a mana diamond each, it's 2 gold and 2 mana steel. Yay, mana pylons. We then combine these with terra steel and our Eyes of Ender, and I think this gives us the Gaia pylons. Yeah, awesome. Click. We're going to grab 3 of our stone. In fact, we're just going to grab it all because we need it all. Going to turn these into pools. Why pools? Why not? So let me see, it's 1 out, 2 down, so 1 there. And now 1 there. At least I think that's the way it works. We can check our book because it has this wonderful visualize feature for it. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Let's anchor you here. So that's down and forward 1, that's down and forward 1, that works, yes. Awesome. We're going to take our Natura pylons. 1 there. 1 there. Yay. We're going to take some living wood. And we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to need to combine 3 of these with our glowstone dust. Oh no! I crafted living wood planks. Shame on me. So we'll grab 2 more. And these go in the left, top and right sides. And the last bit we need is the living wood core, which requires the last of our terra steel nuggets here. Ding! Elven gateway core. Now, this does use a fair amount of mana to start it up, and if you leave it going, it's not too bad. But rather than waste all our food, which is slowly going down because reasons, we are actually going to set up an off mechanism using vanilla redstone. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use a basic thing called a NOT gate. So what we do is we put a redstone torch on the side of this block and a piece of redstone here. See, it's powered, and if I then look down, I have a piston. Did you see it extend? We'll be putting our Elven Gateway core on this piston. On the other side here, we're going to have another piece of redstone. I think this will work. And a button. And when I push this button, nothing happens. The reason is because this redstone cannot feed into the dirt. So we need to move the button. There. And we will need to move our redstone. There. Now, how do we feed it into the dirt? We use a device called a repeater. The vanilla repeater. Just like that. Requires 3 redstone. Oh, no, that's copper. Requires 2 sticks and 3 smooth stone. Can anyone sleep? My nice shiny bed. I will sleep for you, sir. Sleep. Sleep, I say. There's only 4 people on the server. You should be able to sleep, Steve. Anyone? Yes. Awesome. So let's get our 2 redstone torches. We will make our repeater. And this time we'll put our repeater facing that way. Doesn't matter how many ticks, but if we push the button now, nothing. Now why is this? When we push this button, that redstone torch should turn off. Let's have a look. It does. And the piston comes down. But for some reason, the sticky piston is not pulling the Elven Gateway core. Why is this? Possibly because it is a tile entity. That would be annoying. Okay. This is easily fixed because any one of these blocks can be broken. So all we need to do is move this along one. Come here, piston. Fill you in. Piston goes down there. And we need 1 more piece of redstone. Fun and games, troubleshooting. I'm gonna have to go mining again soon. Down to my last 3 pieces of redstone. And we'll plonk that there. Okay, sticky piston's up. And if we push the button now, better. And it comes back up again. Let's put all our dirt back. 1, 2, 3, 6. Awesome. Click. Nice. So when we spark up the portal, that will be our off switch. We might replace it with a carpenter's button and use this dirt to camouflage it. So what's our next step? Well, my mana tablet is almost empty, and this pool is slowly filling up again. But what we're going to do is we're going to drain a little bit of mana from one of the pools I have stockpiled in order to fill up the pools underneath the Gaia pylons. So I'm going to need my dirty stick. I'm going to need my tablet. And what we're going to do is switch that to output mode, throw the tablet on, and it will drain half a mana pool's worth over time. How are you doing over here? Not very well. It's because I just emptied it out into this mana pool actually. A little bit more. We'll fill up each of these a quarter. There we go. Now, it's tricky to get onto these. There we go. So we'll fill this one up by a quarter. It should be more than enough to jumpstart the Elven Gateway. Yemen. There we go. And we'll fill you up by a quarter. I love the way the lightning is coming out of the middle here when the tablet's on the left. That's amusing. It pleases me. But this construct should all be set up now. I'll take my tablet, fill it up in the last of there, and all that remains is to give this a whack. Oh, and we've got an Elven portal. Fantastic. First thing we do is we take our electrical container, chuck that shit through there. And it comes back out as an Elven one. Yay! We'll read through that later. Now what else we can do is throw some of these materials through in order to get the ones that come from the Elven dimension. So for example, if we throw through mana pearls, we get pixie dust. If we throw through mana diamonds, dragonstone, mana glass becomes elf glass, which is used for making flasks and similar objects later. And of course, mana steel becomes elementium, which we need to make the next tier of mana spreaders. One other thing we may want to throw through there is living wood, but I don't have much of that cooked up at the moment. Hey, my tablet's full. Let's see. I have 17. So I'll put some more of that on, because I've got quite a lot of wood at the moment. And we'll find a way to automate this pretty soon. Now, what is our prank? We're actually going to need something from Britannia called sparks. Click. Turns off. And in order to make sparks, we need pixie dust. Sorry, I'm being dumb. We need pixie dust for spark augments, but we also need pixie dust for luminizers. Lumin. See? We need red string, dragonstone, glowstone, and we're going to make a luminizer launcher as well, which is a luminizer and some dreamwood. So we'll be making that soon. So what does a luminizer do? Let's make one and find out. Red string requires ender air, which is tricky. We need to go find the end for that. So this prank may have to continue over in the next episode, which will be annoying, but we can manage it. So for now, that's progressed in Britannia at least. So, oh, good lord, that was quick. Nice and speedy. So I'll stockpile a few stacks of this. So what do we need next? We've got enough mana to make our terra steel, which means we really just need the diamonds and stuff. So we don't have enough ender pearls, but we will have enough because I've found a couple more ender lilies, and they should be growing up here. Yes. So what's the time? Should we try some automation? Yes, we're going to do some automation with... what's a good way to do it? I could do it with Britannia, but I think I'm going to use the tried and true method of Steve's Factory Manager. So we're going to need pistons, we're going to need a few of these inventory cables, and we're going to need these blocks here, the block gates. So I'm going to go craft those, and I'll be right back. And we're back, folks. As you can see in my inventory, I've created all of the necessary components that we need. So this is the core of our machine, the Machine Inventory Manager. You've probably seen me use one of these before. If not, go and watch one of my older series, probably. Or watch someone else's, it doesn't matter. Either way, these machines are freaking awesome. Hello, Mr. Zombie. You are going to die horribly. Thank you. First things first, we need blocks. These are the inventory cables that connect our manager up with everything it needs to. What it needs are these block gates. Now, these block gates will place directly in front of them where this yellow circle is. And the direction they will place on, or rather the face they will place on, is indicated by the circle in the middle. So we need to place it on the space above, but we need to place it on this face here, the lowest face. So we set this to be the bottom. Shift and right click. And we do this for all of them. So all of these will place in the block above, but as though they were facing down. So the blocks will end up like that. Whoops, I broke one. The reason we do this is because if we didn't, they would place opposite to them, which means they'd place up, and you'd end up with a block up there, which won't actually be changed by the pure daisy. Irritating. So, how do we wrangle this? So we're going to set a few variables. here's our trigger. We are going to set a... We're going to start with a for each loop. And we are going to set a couple of variables. So, variable 1 is going to be white, and it is going to reflect all of our block gates. Okay. Container 2 is going to be orange. Very good. Now, the for each loop is going to trigger variables. The list is going to be white, element is going to be orange. So it's going to take each white variable in turn, so each one of our block gates, and call it orange for the purpose of this loop. And we're going to say, first things first, we're going to create an input and an output. And we're going to say that if our orange variable, which is the current block gate, facing up, contains either living stone or living wood, take it and stick it in the box. Simple enough. We then need to... That's a cleaner. That's going to clean up what we need to do. We then need to say that for the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create an input, and we're going to say take from the chest, and we're going to whitelist stone. 1 stone per loop. And we're going to create an output and output that to variable orange, which is our current target. It's already set up. It's already good. Just to clarify, we are also going to put a whitelist stone, and we're going to set one of these two. If we then connect this up together, it should take stone out of the chest and place it on top. Bravo! But you'll notice it keeps spitting out because it's going to keep repeating that loop indefinitely. So let's stop this for the moment. Let's gather up our stone. Any more? Yeah. So, to correct this, oh, I've still got my trigger in my hand. Let's move our output there. We're going to create wrong. We are going to create a condition. So we'll break this. And this condition is going to say if our current variable facing up has any stone, cobblestone, or, and we're going to use dark oak for this because it's convenient for me to harvest, dark oak wood. True, do nothing. If false, then place the stone. And this should fix our spitting out problem. Ooh. Aha. Progress, no more stone flying everywhere. Excellent. We're then going to create another condition, and we'll loop around with another input and output. So the output's going to be there, input's going to be here. We'll connect this up to here, and I think we can, wrong one, it's that. Aha, make that nice and neat. We're going to say condition. If our current variable contains, if any, stone, whoops, or dark oak, false again, input from the chest, whitelist one dark oak log, specify, output to variable orange, whitelist, dark oak. We may not need this whitelist, but it's convenient to get this right. And there we go. That's all we need to do. So if I take the remaining stone out and place, let's say, 16 wood in, it will harvest these when they become living wood, which should be any second now. When you're ready, it will then realise that there's no more stone in here and go down to the next variable, which will be the wood. So let's see if this happens correctly. Come on. Woohoo! Progress! Congratulations! Instant automation on Britannia. And we're done, folks. This is the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it with that very, very brief automation at the end. If you've liked this video, please leave a like. If you've disliked this video, please leave a dislike. You know the drill by now. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.